and hope go hand in hand. A lot of our people don't hope for nothing. That's why we don't give it. That's why we don't care about destroying ourselves, right? But watch this. You say you listening, right? Watch this. Read this. Romans 10 and 17.
Romans chapter 10 and verse 17.
Uh-huh.
So then faith cometh by hearing.
So, what's your name, brother? Robert. Christ said, or the Most High God said, faith comes by hearing, right? In order to establish your faith, you got to hear the words of God,
That's
right?
right.
Read.
And hearing by the word of God.
So when you hear the word of God consistently, it builds up your faith. It builds up your faith. And once you got faith, guess what? You're going to start applying the things that's written. Why? Because watch this, Romans 15 and 4. You think the Bible's a fairy tale book, or everything in the Bible is true? Everything is true. I'm gonna show you who we are in the Bible.
71 years old, I'm still.
You said 71 years old? Okay, I got a question for you, right? Within your 71 years of being on the earth, all praises that the Lord gave you that much time, right? What's your nationality?
Black.
You black, right? Your sweatpants is black. Those tires are black. But when it comes to the people of the diaspora, the children of the slave trade, our race isn't called black.
Right.
That's not who we are. There's not even a land called black, neither is there a language called black. So for you to say that you're black, that's incorrect. So what's our nationality? Who are we if we ain't black? They ain't it either, but we gonna give it to you, right? That's what our job is to do. Give our people back their identity. Give me Isaiah chapter 1 verse 3, and then we're gonna go to Isaiah 51 verse 20. So according to the Bible, right, the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, we make up the 12 tribes of Israel. If you consider yourself black, God calls you Judah. If you think you West Indian black, right, God said that those are the people of Benjamin. Some of our people come from the land of Haiti, right? God said that that is Levi. And the Latinos, Hispanics, and Native Americans, right, they make up the rest of the 10 tribes of Israel, right? So which one do you find yourself at on that chart? African American black, right? So you from the tribe of Judah, right? But I'm going to show you why our people didn't know that. Go to Isaiah chapter 1 verse 3.
Isaiah chapter 1 and verse 3.
Uh-huh.
The ox knoweth his owner.
Read with some power, brother. Come on.
The ox knoweth his owner.
So God said an ox knoweth his owner, right? An ox knows who provides for him, right? Read.
And the ass his master's crib.
And a dumbass, a donkey, he knows where he belongs at, right? He knows his homeland, right? Read.
But Israel.
But the Israelites, right? The 12 tribes, they don't know. Read.
Doth not know. My people doth not consider.
So the reason why you didn't know who you were is because you're part of the 12 tribes of Israel. You're part of the Israelites that the Bible speaks of. The people that they deemed as nothing, we're God's chosen people. Now, my question is, why didn't we know who we were? What? No, we're going to read verse 4. Why do you think God would cause us not to know who we are?
Change that to
God causes. Give me hold that. He causes that. And I'm gonna show that. Why you getting your thoughts?
That's very important. That's very important.
That's a good question, right? Why would God cause us to forget who we were?
Not only forget, but know who we are anyway.
I'm gonna show you why. I'm gonna show you what we did. Deuteronomy 32 and 16. My number's all over the place today. But why would God cause us to not know who we are? We're going to read it in the Bible.
Deuteronomy 32 and verse 16. They provoked him to jealousy.
So we provoked God to jealousy. God said that he was the God of the Israelites and the Israelites only. In our returning of the favor, we provoked him to jealousy. Read.
With strange gods.
Because a lot of our people is in the Christian church, right? The Baptist church, right? The Catholic church, right? Seventh-day Adventists, Pentecostal, right? We fail to understand that those are strange gods. God didn't call us to those denominations. God called us to keep the commandments. So watch this, read it again.
They provoked him to jealousy with strange gods. With abominations provoked they him to anger. They sacrifice unto devils, not to God. To gods whom they know not.
Verse 26. 26.
Verse 26. I said I would scatter them into corners.
So because we provoked God, he said he was going to scatter us into corners. 1619, we were scattered into the corners of America, right? Before then, right, in the sub-Saharan slave tribes, we were scattered in the corners of Arabia, right? In Yemen. The Israelites were scattered all worldwide, right? So, and the reason that he did that is because we was going after other gods. Read it again.
I said I would scatter them into corners. I would make the remembrance of them to cease from among men.
So God said because of our disobedience, he would make the remembrance of us cease from amongst men. Meaning that nobody would identify us as the Hebrews. Nobody would identify us as the Jews. Instead of that, we would become black, we would become African American, we would become Moor, we would become everything outside of what God called us to be. Every different way. Read.
Verse 27. Were it not that I fear the wrath of the enemy.
So Moses was warning us too. He said, listen, he feared the wrath of the enemies. Because when God gives us up, it opens up the floodgate for the enemies to destroy us. That's why when you look in America, right? Who's the number one statistic of police brutality? Who suffers from those things? Who suffer from the worst foods? Who suffer from the worst communities? Who suffers from drug infestation, prostitution, and so on and so forth? Us. Because God said what? Read that part again.
Were it not that I feared the wrath of the enemy.
Because when we forsook God, God let the wrath of the enemies hit us up. Now I got a question. Who do you think the enemies of the Israelites are?
I'm an Israelite.
I know you is, sis. You gotta sober up. You are Israelites. And stay over there, all right? So watch this. So who do you think the enemies of the Israelites are?
They are Israelites.
You said what?
They just don't know.
So you think black people are the enemies of the Israelites?
They don't know
Nah.
that they Israelites.
We was taught to be an enemy towards one another. But I'm going to show you who our enemies originally are. Watch this. Deuteronomy 28:48.
Y'all just drunk.
Since you gotta sober up. That alcohol got you being a whole different person.
Okay, well, help me out.
Deuteronomy 28, verse 48. Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies.
So God's about to give the characteristics of our enemies. He says, therefore we're going to serve an enemy. Read.
Which the Lord shall send against thee.
Read.
In hunger.
So wherever we get our food from, we wouldn't get it from our brothers. We wouldn't get it from the Latinos, Hispanics, and Negroes. We would get it from our enemies. Brother, where do we own any of, I say, the Safeways corporations? Do we own any of the Food Co's, the Winkos, the Albertsons? We don't own any of that, right? Milk dairies, any of that. We don't own any of those things, right? But who owns them? Those corporations? Who put taxes on those corporations? Who caused inflation so it's hard for us to pay for food?
Right.
White folks, right? It ain't just them, it's the white folks out here. But when you go to Jamaica, you got Chinese people or Japanese people doing the same thing. God said we would serve our enemies in hunger. Read.
And in thirst.
And in thirst, right? If we wanted water, right? We wanted Aquafina, we wanted core water. Hey, if it was a long day and we wanted to get a beer, right? Where do we get it from? Do we get it from our own people? We get it from our enemies. We get it from the people that runs this place.
As a taco truck set up in a veterans area, in a veterans building, the taco truck comes every day and sit there. how come it's not a rib or a hot dog truck?
Right, absolutely, absolutely. Now, don't get it twisted, right? Watch this, OG. Watch this, brother. Latinos and Hispanics, those are our people. The so-called Mexicans, they're from the 12 tribes of Israel. They're Issachar. The so-called Guatemalans, they're from the 12 tribes of Israel. They're called Zebulon. And the Native Americans, guess what? We had a saying when we was young. I got Indian in my family, right? Guess what? That wasn't just a saying, that was true. The Native Americans, those are our people, right? So I just want to throw that out there because you were saying, how come there's a taco stand rather than a barbecue shack, right? Right, so don't worry about that. The time of the awakening is now, right? It's all good. So we're going to deal with our enemies first, right? Watch this, read it again.
Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee in hunger.
So if we wanted food, we would get it from an enemy. Read.
And in thirst.
And if we wanted water, we would get it from our enemies. When you examine Flint, Michigan, why do you think they're not able to change the conditions of the water? Because our enemies run the whole aqua system. That's why they still got poisonous water to this day. Read.
And in nakedness.
And in nakedness. If we wanted clothes, we would get the textile and everything from our enemies. We don't own any clothing industries. Read.
And in want of all things.
Want of all things, meaning if we wanted to learn about God, we would learn about him from our enemies. Matter of fact, we actually got the illustration right here. Watch this, watch this. When you examine this, right? Because I said a bold statement. I said all these denominations come from different white men, right? But the Bible is you blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans history book, right? When you examine the Baptist church where most African Americans, they dwell at, that came from a white man. Right. His name was John Smith. That religion was implemented in 1608. Where was the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans in 1608? We was enslaved. We was in chains. We was getting indoctrinated. That's why a lot of our people to this day in 2024, they don't believe the Bible because they think we're Baptists. No, that was the white man's religion. God didn't give us that. He said keep his commandments. When you examine the Mormon religion, that came through in 1830. The so-called Adventist religion, that came in 1863. And so on and so forth.
Come on, Brody.
Read on. Read that again.
Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee, in hunger, and in thirst, and in nakedness, and in want of all things.
It says in want of all things, right? Read.
And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed thee.
So, OG, who put a yoke of iron upon our ancestors' necks? Got you. So, read that again.
And therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee, in hunger, and in thirst, and in nakedness, and in want of all things. And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he hath destroyed thee.
So who put yokes of iron on our necks and destroyed us as a people? Did we do it to ourselves?
No, I don't.
White folks did it. What do God call them? Do we call them our friends or our enemies? He called them our enemies,
That's
right?
right.
Verse 46.
Verse 46. And they shall be upon thee for a sign.
So these curses would be upon the Israelites for a sign. These curses would be upon the Israelites for a sign. So, based upon the signs that the Israelites, how you doing? Sis, you went to go put on the dress? Sis, come here real quick. Come, no, you good, you good. You want to go put on the...
me to go put my dress on.
Oh,
I'm going to show you something real quick. Watch this, watch this, watch this. I'm going to show you what happened in the heavens. Watch this. Luke chapter 15, verse 10. There you go. No, you good. You ain't on... You know what? You got to be on blast. Because at the end of the day, the Lord said, who will rise up for me?
That's right.
You just rose up for God. So
right.
It's time for our people to be on blast. Because guess what? For far too long, we have not had righteous images. We have not had righteous examples. So, hold on real quick. Read that real quick and get Psalms 94 and 16. Read it. I'm going to show you what happened in the heavens, sis. Read it.
Luke 15, verse 10. Likewise, I say unto you, there is joy in the presence of the angels.
So God said there's joy in the presence of the angels. Michael and Christ and all the angels up there, they got joy right now. Read.
In the presence of the angels of God over one sinner that repented.
So by you doing that, it's a celebration, sis. It's a celebration. Did you know that? That's the power of repentance.
I didn't know that, but I know now.
There you go. So don't hide that. Let it shine. The only reason why you think it's a little awkward is because you're out here by yourself. But you don't got to be out here by yourself. We got a whole congregation where sisters dress and look and act and dress just like you. So you don't got to be by yourself. Watch this. Psalms 94, verse 16.
Psalm chapter 94, verse 16.
And keep listening. I ain't forgot about you. Now, we know that the curses that God said the Israelites would go through, who do that fit? What people do that fit today? That's how you know that we're the Israelites. Because what God said that the Israelites would go through, we're the only people that's going through it. And that proves what? That we're the Israelites. We're the Jews. We're God's chosen people.
That's right.
That's what we proven to our people. Now watch this. Psalms 94, verse 16. In this message, this goes to all our people. Because a lot of our people, man, we standing and we fighting for nothing.
Right.
Here go the challenge. Watch this. Read this.
Psalms 94, verse 16. Who will rise up for me against the evildoers?
So God's saying, who gonna rise up for him against the evils that's in Oakland? Who's done with the weed smoke, the crack smoke, the prostitution, the black on black crime, the bad eating? God said, who gonna set his nation back in order? The days of us being kids, them days is over. Who gonna really get their mind right and say, I'm tired of this? Read it again.
Who will rise up for me?
Sis, don't go nowhere. Come here. Watch this. Stay right here. Watch this. Read it again.
Who will rise up for me against the evildoers? Or who will stand up for me against the workers of iniquity?
So a lot of our people say that ain't no jobs out here, right? A lot of our people say it's a recession. Well, guess what? God that's in the heavens that look just like you, black man, he's hiring. He said, who gonna set a broken people back in order? Who gonna feed them with spiritual understanding? Who gonna get our households back in order? Will you do it, sis? Will you do it, my man?
What is a nation? Nation is family. Nation is community. Nation is men leading by example. Nation is women's support. Nation is children with role models. Nation is unity. Nation is you. It's nation time.